So good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Battlefield 4 EMS 1 group stages. We've had a grueling couple of weeks there leading up to this to get people to this stage, and well, it's looking pretty good. And I'm obviously joined by my ever-delightful co-caster, Jason, beautiful Kaplan. He's got a little bit of hair now and everything. It's looking good.
What? I can't hear you over the intro music we just had. That completely blew my ears off. I'm not sure what's wrong with that one, but hopefully it'll be fixed a little bit later on. But yeah, I am back from Brazil. I'm ready to get some more Battlefield 4 action going on. I was a little bit jealous of you doing Battlefield 4 last week with Dogbert. He's a great guy to cast with. And I don't know. I mean, we have really interesting groups coming into this. And I really want to see who's going to move on through this because we've seen the teams really start to develop through these past 4 weeks and really see who's the top dog. And it's been changing quite a bit. And
speaking of that, let's kind of refresh our minds towards what the rankings were towards the end of the 4 cups we had not too long ago. Obviously, you had a chance to cast Cup 3, I think it was, with the ever-delightful Dog, but as you kindly told me.
I actually gave him a lot of different words, which I'm sure he rubbed in.
Sure, the worst thing is I carried that on, and I was completely unaware that you were calling him beautiful. I went for the same thing, so hopefully we can look at the rankings as soon as they're ready. So let's have a little look through, just to remind you of what teams did get through in that top 16. So in first, Fnatic, no real surprise there, kicking off to a very strong start and ending with an extremely strong kind of result there in first from Cup number 4, picking up 100 points. UMAV doing brilliantly from Cup 2 to 4. The first Cup had a little bit of a shaky start, only 10 points there, but still not bad all in all, finishing in second. Epsilon as well doing just brilliantly. And a couple of surprise, really outstanding performances and a couple of really poor performances to this point. Eyeballers, one of the teams who are really tipped to be one of the very best teams, only just scraping through in 15th position with a mere 30 points by their name. Bit of a surprise to a lot of people, but I do know they've had a good couple of roster changes. So, it's not exactly the most easy thing in the world.
Actually, can we put that back up real quick? I actually wanted to say one thing on that real quick. Just to mention, I was saying earlier, we saw a lot of top teams change throughout time. And you mentioned, Fnatic, they started off strong Cup number 1. They kind of had a little bit of interesting results through Cup 2 and 3, came back strong in Cup 4. But look at, like I said, UMAV, they progressively got stronger throughout the Cups. If we look at, against Authority, they were really quiet through Cup 1 and 2. And then out of nowhere, they win Cup number 3, come out really strong Cup number 4. And I wanted to point that out specifically just to show you that a lot of these teams have taken these first 2 weeks, or 2-3 weeks, really come together and really started to shine through and really kind of, advance as a team together.
Yeah, and it's the best thing within Battlefield 4 at the moment, in my eyes at least, is that, through the Cups, as you said, we saw the progression of these teams, not only tactically, but just as individuals alone. At the very start, okay, Valu was pretty much king, but then you look at UMAV and the likes of Mayek, and there's some very interesting things happening with Mayek as well, I do believe, because he's actually too young to play in the offline finals. He's been benched. So it'd be interesting to see how that one really does affect the sides later on if they're star player is actually going to cost them a lot of the victories. But as you said, these teams are evolving week by week, and it'll be very interesting to see how they do later on, and especially when it comes down to stages like this where it's pretty much all or nothing for these guys, because the groups, they're not that forgiving really. And I think we can have a little look at the brackets overall, because it was the top 16 who got put through to, I think it was groups of 4, and the top 2 from each group will kind of make their way forward. But take me through some of these groups as well, because there's a lot of strength in a lot of the groups, and I want to see if you've got, there's maybe a group of death in there.
I think the group of death is actually the one we're doing today. I think it's Group A. I mean, you have great teams like Fnatic, Dignitas, Yoki, and #Free who, qualified through kind of at the very end of it, get enough points. But, to me, that's the group to really watch. If you have 3 of those teams, I couldn't really tell you besides maybe Fnatic, being the only team to really for sure get through. But Dignitas and Yoki are just so strong across the board. I don't really know which one of those 2 teams is really going to be the team to pull through. If anything, also, Group B, I mean, there's not any huge names there. Yeah, there's against Authority. They've been performing really well.
Yep.
But you have Exequeo, ESC, and Pyrogen. And ESC and Pyrogen have been going head-to-head nonstop throughout all of these cups, playing against each other multiple times. That is going to be a really good group, and there's going to be a lot of great games to watch.
It certainly is, and it's back-to-back days here, guys. So if you like the sound of this so far, make sure you follow on Twitch, because we'll be going live at the same time for the next 4 days. But Group A is where we're starting. Fnatic, Dignitas, Yoki, and #Free. Now, brilliant group of teams, but individually very different as well. So maybe we can throw up those the individual group in just a moment, or at least the brackets for today's games, because they are very, very different teams. Now, obviously, you've got the very strong in there. You've got Fnatic, almost untouchable at times, who slipped slightly, but they're still very much there, finishing first. #Free, not untalented side certainly have their strengths there, but also losing out a couple of players, changing a couple up. I know the ever-famous Jack Frags is now actually in a backup position for them, not playing in the main lineup. So certainly going to be an interesting back and forth there. But yoki, as you mentioned, also having lineup changes. It seems that a lot of these teams are switching people in and out. And I believe Koa, my ex-teammate, is now playing for Eyeballers, going for more the all Swedish lineup there, maybe feeling a little bit more at home. And Dignitas certainly on, growing as a team and getting stronger and stronger. So just take me through what we're going to be seeing today, because we're starting kind of in the upper bracket. But why don't you take me through what games we'll be following?
Yeah, it's kind of like a double elimination bracket. It's going to be a little hard to explain, but luckily with this graphic, I can explain it pretty quickly. So yoki and Dignitas are going to be going up against each other, Fnatic as well as #free. Winner of those two games will play on and we're going to be actually bringing you today. And in those first two games, while we are actually going to be commentating, there's two other games going on at the same time. So the two losers of this first match will go on to the bottom side of the bracket. They will be playing while we're casting the two winners in the second round. And then the final game of the day that we'll be casting will be the loser of the upper side of the bracket playing against the winner of the bottom side of the bracket to determine who is that second team. So if you get 2 wins, you're in. If you get 2 losses, you're out.
Very simple stuff there, really. It's the top 2 basically qualify. Yep. Simple as that. And guys at home, we do obviously want your predictions as well. Make sure you tweet through to us at They Call Me Pansy for myself and at J Kaplan.
It's
been a little while since I had to say that, but yeah, obviously getting used to that. But make sure you let us know who you think the top 2 teams are. The easy choice is Fnatic and Dignitas, but there's certainly teams who could cause upsets here. yoki, I wouldn't put it beyond them to be able to cause a little bit of an upset here. And the same with #free. Certainly pushed a lot of teams in the cup I saw in cup number 4. Certainly capable. But where's your predictions on this one?
I want to say it's Dignitas and Fnatic as well. I think Fnatic definitely first place for this one. Dignitas pulling in a strong second. And I say it for a certain reason, because you mentioned yoki. They had a little bit of a roster change. Kawa going over to Eyeballers. This is not the time to be switching rosters. This is the worst time to possibly do it. If we saw how this all started off, going back to the first cup we actually did for Go For It, and seeing how those progressed through the weeks and the cups, teams got strong over time. I mean, that was a guarantee. It's a thing you obviously expect, but the team synergy between each of them really got a lot stronger. It bonded really well together. And then you switch up something like that coming into this. It's very dangerous to do, with especially what's on the line.
Most certainly. There is a lot on the line as well. And we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. The money, obviously, towards the offline finals. And there are tickets available, guys. So make sure you keep that in mind. And for this week alone, you can get a 50% discount to come here to the studios in Cologne and check it out, I do believe. So make sure you head over there. Check that one out. The URL is just below. And it's pretty awesome to come down to these events and actually see it yourselves and see all the players and watch it there. So make sure you go over and look at that. And obviously nothing's stopping you from buying them yourselves and popping down. There's Red Bull. We sometimes get you cheeseburgers. It's pretty cool.
Cheeseburgers are good.
They really are good. Like the first time they had to go to McDonald's and order like 500 cheeseburgers, I can imagine there's like a little bit of a confused face from the poor cashier. Like,
are you serious?
Right?
Really? They bring them in like boxes actually back, but
like
something about the cardboard
boxes
makes them taste better. I don't know. It's weird.
There you go. There's a little tip. Cardboard ups the value of McDonald's. Who'd have thought it? But we are almost ready to get underway here, I do believe.
Yeah, we are. And we're shooting over the map list for you guys real quick. I'll just tell you what will be coming up as I get my lovely handy-dandy piece of paper out. Going to be doing Parasol Storm as the first map. yoki decided to choose this map. We're going into Goldman Railway right after that as Dignitas' choice, and then Siege of Shanghai as a decider map. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier on. It seems a little bit weird to see these 2 maps actually picked up by these teams.
Okay, let's go to 3 maps. One, Shanghai is
not the greatest of maps.
You basically are gifted a flag on spawn, so I don't think they want to go to a 3rd map. If anything, they want to win in 2. I don't think either team particularly wants Shanghai, but God knows why they put it as the decider there.
I don't know.
I watched it with Dogbert not too long ago, and it was just like, why are you guys playing this? It's not ideal. Obviously, the rooftops are completely out of bounds. But the first map, as you mentioned, will be Storm. Now, I've got a lot to say about this one, but from
we
your
don't have
opinions,
a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, exactly that. 25-second countdown has begun. But obviously, it's a very important map. It's very close quarters. There's not that many long-range elements. We've seen the Scar H in play. We see a lot of different weapons come into the forefront. But it's all about those buildings. I was talking to Dogbert about it in Cup 4, and he's probably said it throughout every single cup we've seen. It's all about controlling those buildings by B and then locking down the sites accordingly. So I think we're almost ready to get in game. Yeah. So why don't we drop in there and take you maybe through the lineups very, very quickly. As yoki will be Zella, Benny, Frantic, Hadrian, and Bite Me. Dignitas, Jerk, Jaquili, Masu, Walu, and Jadeski. So very well-known teams. You don't need me to give you too much detail on these guys. But they are pretty damn phenomenal. So we are getting underway here, and we are seeing Dignitas going straight in towards those buildings, looking like they want to get that B site under control. They've negated a lot of the presence towards A, so a little bit of an interesting start from them.
Yeah, and we do have yoki getting a strong control of C and A, actually just pretty much dueling it out over towards this A flag. Yeah, Bite Me actually be the man to hold on to that one. And let's get taken on from the backside. And this is going to be really interesting to see is how this map warms up both these teams, because I was saying earlier that's really interesting to see this map chosen by yoki, because they're actually 0 for 1 losing to Against Authority on it, where Dignitas are 2 for 2 on it, even beating UMAV. So Dignitas is going to be very strong on this map, and yet they're the ones to really choose it out.
Yeah, curious choice there, and we are seeing the likes of yoki now trying to challenge on that B side. They have had control of the roofs and the actual houses there, so they could be in for a good bit of a run, but whether or not they can actually get the kills in the bag, because Dignitas are immediately challenging. They're not holding back at all here. Dignitas now trying to make their way forward. You can see Masu picking up a couple of kills. They've actually got a good little bit of a spot there, but it's about those buildings, as we said. These guys are doing what they must. They're holding it down. They're behind on tickets for now, but you know it's not a big deficit if they convert that B site and then hold it.
And Benny, he's only 1 and 3 right now, but he's been giving him that cover, that suppressed fire that they really need to be able to lock this one down. He's even looking for Jaquila right there. Not going to get the shot onto him, and let's get taken out for it. But they are able to cap over B. They're able to hold on to it from a couple of different angles here. But Dignitas, look at the control that they're able to build up. They have Jerk over towards A to C, going to be playing that kind of rotate role. But they have that 4-man squad work over towards that B side. And Masu, as you were pointing out earlier, he's basically a 1-man squad here trying to work in towards these buildings to hold on to it. And he's going to be able to pick up a kill on a Benny right there. And that might have opened up a potential site to take onto B.
Well, we'll find out momentarily, as B is looking pretty much in the hands of Dignitas for now. A is being converted over by yoki, however, so they are holding at least a 2-1 at the very moment. And I'm kind of curious to see if they can actually do this one properly and actually lock this down, because this is what they need. They had control of the buildings. It didn't work for them. But now they're going to have to try and lock down a little bit of a kind of backup strategy almost and see if it pans out for them here. So we are seeing Benny once again in those trenches, really being dedicated. But the counter push coming in from Dignitas now. Jakili is one of the players now heading down towards the trenches, going for the exchange. But still, it will be in the hands of yoki here. But C is now being contested. They do not have the players within the buildings to be actually able to contest this one. So yoki have lost out here. That is what happens when you give up the buildings and you let the other team get it. So it's 118 tickets to 123 so far, and Hadrian still trying to lay down some fire here. Not much luck really coming through for him. Nades are coming in, however, so he has to be a little bit careful. But the yoki are trying it, but they do not have the cover. Jakili will pick up the kill. We are seeing Zella there as well, trying to fight this one through, but Jakili just keeps going. And already, Dignitas could be going for a nice little convert here onto that A site as well. This could be a triple cap, because at the moment, yoki are so far away here. One player, Bite Me, in the buildings. It's not good. It's not ideal. And, well, I don't think he can really challenge Liza Walu. He's going to go in for it, and Wahlberg will go down. But Masu quickly finding the kill back. So it's a triple cap going down right now for, for Dignitas. And, well, yoki, they really have to switch something up now. Not looking good at all. Locked down to just C. They're looking for, maybe gaining a little bit of presence back towards those buildings. But every time they've had maybe, one hold here, they just can't make it stick. But we are seeing Masu immediately challenge out in those buildings. He's not giving them any leeway at all. Just going to lock them back down to C and let those points trickle into the hands of Dignitas.
One thing that Dignitas does so well is their ability to really kind of get back in the game, and then when they're able to hold on to a couple of flags, they're really starting able to... My mic wasn't even on. There we go. My mic is unmuted now. We had a couple of technical issues. But I was saying that Dignitas, they're one of those teams where they can get a couple flags on you. They can lock those down, and they can really start to just cut away at your entire lead, or just kind of get their own lead for themselves. We're seeing them being able to do right now with that hold on A and B at the same time. They're not really caring about C, but you can see how many men they're investing into those buildings to really gain control of this area.
Yeah, and yoki, they have no spawn near them pretty much. They are so far away. They're trying to get back into these buildings. Bite Me is attempting, as is Benny, but the fire comes in, and Dignitas are holding them at the door, and they're literally left with just C in hand. There is no breakthrough towards B or A, and at the moment, Dignitas in the perfect position just to roam, pick up the kills. Finally, the nades are landing, so this could be a breaking point, but already, there's just kills going back and forth. That's what they were waiting for. Maybe a little bit of a cheeky spawn for Hadrian. Could change over the A site, but it's still not ideal.
Actually, let's take a look at the scores we can real quick, just to kind of see how everyone's really banking off this. Hadrian is currently 5-5, Bite Me 5-8. Look over at Dignitas' side, and Masu 8-2, Jaquili 11-2. This is really showing that Dignitas, it wasn't the map they chose, but it's the map that they're playing exceptionally well on right now. 110 to 61 ticket lead, and right now it's a tri-cap coming in. They have it for a little bit here. We see C going to be locked down here, and right now Dignitas, they're getting a huge lead. They have almost a 50 ticket lead advantage currently, and they're showing no signs of stopping. Can yoki break through this? Because they have to make something happen soon.
Yeah, they certainly do. They have not got Dignitas under 100 tickets, which is really rather dire for these guys. Nice little nade will take Masu down. They should be able to get the A side. They've got some, fairly good positions here, but already they're picking up the kills. A should be theirs. They have a player ready to get into the buildings to convert on B. but I haven't seen them do it once yet. And he's not gone for the building control. He's gone straight for the site. And right now with 41 tickets, it may be the only option they really have. But we are seeing a player right around the back of these guys is Wahlberg looking to come in here. He's found Hadrian. He knows where Bite Me is. Took his time, took down 2, and will be able to keep hold of that B site. 106 tickets to 39. yoki are really in trouble. They finally thought, okay, maybe we should start challenging these buildings, but it might be too late now.
Yeah, and the thing is that Dignitas, once they seem to get control on you, it's really hard for them to lose it. If you think back to, I think it was cut number 3 when they were playing against UMAV, they came back from, I think it was an 80 plus ticket deficit and actually ended up winning them out that first half against them. And right now, they've been able to maintain this huge lead, 70 ticket advantage right now. They're showing no signs of stopping still, as yoki are just struggling to get one extra flag in here. They're finally able to cap over to B with the help of Hadrian getting that nice kill there. And this is the new man on the team. This is the guy that is replacing Kawa. And right now, he's performing pretty well. He's actually leading his team.
Yeah, and he certainly leads to the moment. They finally have a BA hold, but already the spawn coming for Dignitas has opened it up, immediately getting around towards that trench side. Benny has been eliminated, and Jadeski and co can now start making their way forward, but already there's a little bit of a contest on this one. Jerk does not have an easy time. Battling out, dropping down the nade, buying time for the reload, but he's still getting the flag. Every single site is going either way. It's currently going to be a 2-to-1 hold in favor to Dignitas, but the respawns for yoki are in favor towards Ace. They could be able to come over towards this one. Nades being spammed out, but they are currently a 2-to-1 hold deficit, so they need to get back into this one. Bite Me now breaking straight forward, expecting players pretty damn close. He knows there's at least 2 present here now. He knows that Jadeski was around the corner. He finds him, but is there any more? But is it too little, too late? 18 tickets left on the board is not what you want to be starting this one out with.
I'm pretty sure that yoki right now, they're looking at this as, we're not going to win this half, but what we can do right now, minimize how many tickets that Dignitas can come into second half with. We need to get this ticket lead down, and they're starting to do it here. They have been able to pull off a tri-cap, as they are going to be losing seed to 1 man on Dignitas. I believe that is actually Jaquili, but they've gotten the AB control. They traded C for this 3-cap and for the 2-cap onto those 2 flags, and right now they're actually losing over on B, and this is not what you want to see happen. They need to be able to hold on to this, and Judetsky, that one-man squad, or one-man firing squad that he's becoming, has been able to cap it back, and they're looking at a 80-ticket lead coming into the second half.
Yeah, and to be fair to yoki, they only had 1 player within those upper buildings. We're seeing Frantic here, laying down the fire from the far. Nice little shot to Wahlberg, but still, B is not in their control. They're going to have to go aggressive on it. It's literally singular plays. With 7 tickets left, yoki are in trouble. They got Dignitas under 100, so fair play to them for that. But it is pretty much a matter of time now. We are waiting for Frantic to pick up the B side, maybe chip away a little bit more from the Dignitas absolutely dominating lead, but that's not going to be happening. And with 3 tickets left, this is not looking good. Jaquili coming around on the flank. Zella is pretty much the last man alive. He has very little to do but die at the moment. And there we go. He does go down. And we will be seeing those last couple of tickets just bleeding away from yoki with 2 left with just the A flag. They've got them down to 79, which is fairly respectable, but still, Dignitas holding strong. It's certainly not one of their strongest maps, but still, 79 tickets is not a bad way to start this one off.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for yoki too. I mean, I don't want to harp on them or harsh on them too much about the map choice, but this is your map choice. If you're going to choose something like this, you need to be able to come out prepared. And going down 79-0 in the first half is not what you really need to do. And I'm not sure if they really researched Dignitas well enough, because if they can beat a team like UMAV on this map and coming back from that huge deficit, which we saw in cut number 3, you better beat them on it if you're going to choose this. It's just really unfortunate, it seems.
yoki at the moment have been putting in a hell of a lot of PCWs, trying to get their practice in.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought they had something for this map, but you know, if it's not the building hold, for example, which is your kind of go-to strat, they have to have the counter to it to be able to lock down B and then, you know, either CRA depending on the spawns, but they had nothing. They were just getting mowed down, so I don't see why they made this choice here. I think I'm with you on that sort of ticket, because Dignitas, it may not be their strongest map for Dignitas, but it's certainly one they're able to compete on, and certainly something they're very strong at. So I would not be taking them on in this sort of situation, especially at the group stage. You know, in the cups, okay, test the water, try it out. But when you get to the, you know, this point where you literally can be almost out of even going to the offline finals within, you know, 1 map choice, you don't do it on a map like this. I think there's too much up in the air. Maybe your MYMs or something like that, you think, okay, they're really aggressive, they're very fluid, maybe we can lock them down to something. But Dignitas, they're a comfortable middle ground. You can't just kind of break in like that and just hope to shake things up. So maybe this map choice will come back to bite them in the ass. I think Dignitas dropped a player, so he might not be going straight live into this. But just to explain to you guys, basically yoki now have to stay above 79 tickets and bleed away all of Dignitas's. So it's a bit of a tough task, to say the least, because Dignitas, you know, really did hold quite strong there. And I think if they wanted to, they could have had more trip caps and a lot more things going on for them. So I'd be I'd be worried if I was on Yoki's side now, but obviously losing Koa. Koa is very much a tactical genius at times. Maybe not be the best individual player, but he certainly has his strengths within the way he can lead a team and in-game leading and the decision-making you come up with. But if you just drop into game maybe in a second, we can kind of take you through some of the important factors here if you're just tuning into this one. Because there is a lot to kind of keep in mind here. Obviously, we are on Parasol Storm, very simple stuff. I'm sure you guys know that once you went hunting around for the Megalodon. Or maybe T-Rex, you know. As soon as that ship came in on the land, it was like, that kind of looks like Jurassic Park, you know, with the ship at the end. And it was just all these kind of conspiracy theories coming out. But you know, this is one of the maps you can really get some good variation on, but it's always kind of boiled down to having that main hold within those buildings. And Dignitas, I don't think they even got forced to do it. Once they had the hold they wanted, they were like, well, we can kind of go aggressive, and they happily did. Just sending players around one or the other. You know, if they thought maybe, okay, we're going to lose out on A, get a player over to C, because there was never any, you know, hedging of the bets coming out from Yoki. They were always like, okay, all in, guys. You know, we need to get this right now. And it was always a little bit rushed. There's very little composure, I feel, to what they were doing there. So
yeah, it was a little bit weird in the sense that Dignitas, it seemed all too easy for them to get that tri-cap.
Yep.
It feels like they wanted to go into the game like, guys, let's just get 2 flags. Let's hold on to it. Let's just guarantee a win in this first half. Then we'll think about tapping the second half. But like halfway through, they were like, guys, we could probably tri-cap them here. Right? It's not really that hard right now. We're out aiming them across the board, and they went for it. They were able to hold on to it for a little bit. And then when they finally did actually get capped over and Yoki was able to get that 2 cap back, they just swarmed them with people and were able to out aim them consecutively. And usually, I mean, it's not bad against Dignitas, but usually they're the ones that are in Yoki's shoes right now. They're the ones that haven't seem to have woken up yet, haven't been able to get the shots off. But when Dignitas does wake up and show up to that game, they're really hard to beat. And they're coming into this game like the Dignitas that we expect them to be after a little bit of a warm-up.
Yeah, so certainly something to keep in mind of whoever you think will win between Fnatic and Hashtag could be in trouble. If they're coming up to a warmed-up Dignitas who are looking pretty damn strong in this, you've got to be worried. Certainly a strong side. I think we are just seeing if they've got the final member back. They don't just yet. So if the producer could drop in game, I can maybe take you guys through some of the ways that the setups they're running with and what we're seeing. Okay, so Jadetsky has a knife, and it is in German. But I can tell you at least the Scar H and things like that, and see, you guys at home know what they look like by now. As you can see, a couple of these guys do run with, fairly different items. So the Ace 23, fairly normal for Zella. We are seeing the Ace 52 CQB. So a little bit of a variation there. A couple of players actually preferring that. And we are seeing it here for Hadrian as well. Quite a close range weapon, but clearly has its place here using the angle grip, muzzle brake, and the laser there. So interesting variations. I've always heard, the angle grip mainly used here in these situations for those first 2 shots. The climb you get off it is very minimal, and they generally hit like a rail gun. So interesting to see how that one plays off. Hadrian played very well, being quite aggressive. We see Zella there sticking with the Ace 23. Little M9 for Bime. He doesn't even want a main weapon. He's just chilling with a pistol. But yeah, these guys do like to switch things up. I haven't seen a Scar H actually yet. I'm kind of curious to see when that's going to be coming in, if anyone actually wants to start using that. We are going to have a little look through. Actually not seeing any, but yeah, the Scar H really came into play. I'm trying to think who really used it. I saw a couple of members of Fnatic slowly trying it out, being a little bit cautious. They always are a little bit cautious trying new things, these guys. They're very much within their own mentalities on these sort of items. But MYM, big fan of it, against all authority. Epsilon, all pioneers of this Scar H within play at least, and we are going to see if they keep running with that towards the later stages of this one.
One thing I really like though is we saw the gun meta kind of changed. It's kind of going with how people needed to play. The Scar H coming into play where we saw a lot of people, or one person kind of playing like a floater role, really sitting towards the backsides, roaming between a couple different flags and really using that long range support that he's able to do. And the Scar H really facilitated it quite well. And we're starting to see a lot of guns really come in out of nowhere. I'm trying to think of the man who brought, I think it was the Ace 52 to life. I can't remember who it is. I think it was on Gamers Connection or Against All Authority. I think it was Against All Authority that Dogbert was saying. And we're starting to see these new guns finally come and be played. And I want to see if it's going to continue to adapt as we get in a little bit further on.
I do remember the likes of Safe actually were one of the first players that I noticed at least doing very well with the Scar H. I think it was on Dawnbreaker. Obviously, we are just filling time here until Dignitas' player does come back. But no, I think it was Safe there on Dawnbreaker. He was playing on the catwalk. It's quite a long-range role. It's not the easiest one in the world to lock down, but it can be such a vital part and aspect of the game there, especially on that map to hold the A-B section. That really helps them out, and they just absolutely nailed it off the back of that, and it just proved exactly, why it's such an important thing. And he made it work with the Scar H, which is, fairly impressive. Smaller clip size to most. I think it's got like 25 bullets. don't take that for complete God's truth, but I believe it's around that marker or 21, whereas you see for these it's in the 30s, 31 bullets and things like that. So very small clip size, so kind of curious to see people picking that one up. I don't think we'll be seeing this in play, sadly. I'm hoping to see something flying around, the little planes. But yeah, the variation is very interesting to see coming into play, and I'm kind of curious to see if there's anything else happening with this one.
Well, we're going to find out here momentarily. Hopefully, actually, Dignitas has been able to come back in here. So hopefully we'll be starting. Oh, no, and then actually they just lost a man as well at the same time. So hopefully whatever's happening with this computer or internet will be fixed very shortly, because it would be terrible to drop out of groups just because of one person disconnecting after they worked so hard after all these 4 weeks. And I don't know, hopefully it does get fixed momentarily. Actually, I was just thinking, the sniper rifle, we did see that finally used once on Dawnbreaker. Yeah, in cut number 3.
Someone went for it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm pretty sure Dogbird's out. Actually, no, he's casting, so he's not actually not watching this. But there was one man who actually brought it out, and he played on the far side of the map, the one where you covered throughout that B area of the cross. And I wonder if we're going to see it anymore in the future.
Did it work?
No, that's the downside.
Well,
he killed someone with a pistol.
Okay, great.
I mean, that kind of doesn't really count.
But, it's so one-dimensional, and you're already seeing players being able to lock people out of certain positions already. And if you know someone's a sniper, you're just going to negate that position, pretty much. You'll just be like, okay, I just won't peek you guys. Simple as that. So I think it's too one-dimensional. You don't have any backup plans. And as we've seen, these strategies that teams run have, various ways of adapting. You can't have such a linear way of playing it through, I feel. But it'd be interesting to see if someone does actually find a way to really utilize it, and if it comes into aspect here. It's certainly nothing. I wouldn't say it's beyond the realm of possibility, but I feel as though they'd have to find a way to not make it linear. But guys at home, do let me know your thoughts towards different guns coming in. Do you think there's another gun they're missing out on that may be a really useful little thing in hand? And I'd be kind of interested to see maybe some of these one-shot kind of rifles in play. I'd really like to see that one, but we'll see. I'm a big fan of the kind of like one-shot things. You know what I mean, like the COD 2 like style of stuff. But I think we are just waiting for the game to restart here. We're going to go for a restart on the map. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Dignitas and yoki just getting themselves ready here. We're getting back underway nice and quickly. Let's bear in mind, yoki now have to keep that number of 79 in mind. If that score drops below 79, they are in trouble. They've lost the first map, and they'll have to look towards the second. So we'll see if this one will be picked up here momentarily. And we are going to see if all players are in. They are indeed. So Jerk, Walu, Judeski, Masu, and Jukili on the US side. That'll be Dignitas. For the Chinese side, it's Benny, Frantic, Bite Me, Hadrian, and Zella. Now, it will be the Chinese side. If they drop below 79 tickets, they will be going into the second map with a big disadvantage. So I'm very curious to see how this one's going to go, if they can actually make it stick. So with 8 seconds left, we can kind of see what we'll be expecting. So Dignitas towards more of the north of the map, towards the south, it'll be yoki. And they look like going straight for that B. They already have the command out there. They want to be hitting up that B site. So want to see how this one goes. All
right, I finally have my computer fixed for this, so you will now not have to worry about doing spectating. But as you're saying, we're going to have yoki on the Chinese side, we're going to have Dignitas over on the US side, and we're going to see Dignitas go straight in for that A and C cap, and I want to see, can they lock these two down? Because like you said before, 79 tickets, that's all I really have to work for here, and Jerk able to open up with a nice little bit of a kill right there, has locked them down A here potentially, and has opened up C.
Yeah, so let's see if they can make this one really, really count now.
Flaggenstatus. I can't even say that word.
Germans
are
scary.
Our clients are in German, unfortunately, but we're going to check out what's happening across the map. And look what yoki's doing. They've been able to gain control of buildings here a little bit better, but they've only been able to hold on to B. So, like, they're fixing one problem they had in the first half, but they're not really making anything work off of it.
Yeah, indeed. Hadrian there trying to do what he can, but as you said, not really doing much from that, as Walu will be able to find him. Jerk picking up the rest of Zella now, pretty much the only one alive for the yoki side within those buildings. B now in the hands of Dignitas. yoki falling back to just holding C, maybe looking for the A hold as well, but Frantic converting that one over. There are no players from Dignitas coming in to try and challenge him, because you know what? Take C, we'll have A and B, and we will just keep you where you are. We know you're not going to get a better spawn than that right now, and that'll make it work. So let's keep in mind, 79 tickets is not far away now for yoki. They need to get a 2-to-1 hold, and they need to do it fast.
And you can see on the side just the KDAs of both teams. You know, we have 3 kills for yoki. We have 12 for Dignitas. That just really shows how this game is going and how they're really locking this down across the board with all these kills. And you're seeing yoki. I don't know why they're all grouped up here towards the south side, Pansy,
Spawns.
but it's not really... spawns, okay. I thought they were just kind of sitting there looking for some TDM going on, but it's not what you need to do, and they're not being allowed to actually push into B.
No, they're not. Frantic they're biding their time, though. They've split 2 players through the buildings, and they're looking to make their presence known. And B, they are going to get the cap underway very shortly, so they could be able to pick this one up. But at the moment, it's a triple cap against them. Those tickets are bleeding fast, so it's not a pretty sight. We are seeing 2 players now, Hadrian there, and I believe one other who's splitting off. It's Benny, but they're already looking towards A as well, so could get a 2-to-1 hold from this. But they haven't been able to lock these down fully, and already Dignitas are looking to challenge within those buildings for the retake. And
with that 2-to-1 hold, I mean, the pressure's on. They're at 99 tickets. They only have 20 left to really give away. Actually, they don't really have any to give away if you think about it that way. But they need to kill everything they possibly can. They need to stop dying. They've been able to pick up the kills a little bit here or there, but it just doesn't seem to be going their ways. Dignitas are just able to cap things over and over. We have Bite Mia and we have Hadrian capping on to C here, but Dignitas, they've been able to get control of buildings yet again here. They're going to be able to go straight towards B here momentarily, and Frantic actually has an interesting spawn over towards this B side, which has actually locked it down for themselves. But Dignitas realized, you know, guys, less than 20 tickets to go. No need to make any, rash moves. Let's just take this smart, take it strategically, and they're taking B. Yeah, pretty much. yoki, though, are trying to break back through, but nothing really working for these guys. As we mentioned, 2 players constantly in position for Dignitas within those buildings, not allowing them through at all. 92 tickets left, and pretty much the next push is all or nothing. Judetsky there picking up Zella. Nice little kill on the point as Judetsky now pushing through those buildings, trying to get into a better position for this one, as we are going to see yoki try and split through towards A, and this is pretty much their last chance. 79 tickets is the main moment here, and A, well, that did not go well. They just have C. They're looking at B, but Zella's been found, and this is not looking good. They can't even respawn anymore. I mean, they are completely wiped across the board. They have 3 men up. There's the ticket difference, and then will be Dignitas taking the first map in this best of 3, and I have to say, it just seemed a little too damn easy. I mean, Bite Me, 0 for 6. Not the best game for him. We've seen him play so much better in the past, and I wonder if it's maybe a warm-up. Maybe it's just kind of the mentality of the team right now, realizing that they lost Kawa, who was like the real strat caller for them, the real mind behind the team. And I don't know, they need to come to the second map on Goemon Railway and kind of just come with a fresh breath of air. And luckily for them, they have a great track record on it. Yeah, and to be fair, we saw Dignitas struggling a little bit on occasion on that map. So hopefully they can kind of look through the previous way it was played out and kind of get ready to adapt to it, because the likes of MYM, UMAV had really strong performances on maps like that. So Railway is certainly a map that can cause upsets. We've seen a lot of teams be able to do it to really kind of shake the big guys, because, okay, you can play it very standardly by playing the rooftop game, but you can easily be adapted around. And, we've seen Dignitas struggle occasionally with that. They've certainly found their strength within Storm, being able to lock down the buildings. But, it's a very hard map, and it's easily countered on Railway. A lot of teams will just take the engineer to start with, literally pretty much rocket launcher down the buildings. So the cover is eliminated. There's no way they can just hide in there and keep hold of it. So very interested to see, very fast-paced map. And I'm curious to see now if yoki can keep up with it and constantly apply that pressure, because they were a little bit sloppy there, I think, on Storm. I think we can all agree that. I don't think they'll be too devastated by me saying it, but there's a lot of work to be done there for them, I feel. I don't get why that was their choice. Maybe they watched, a previous cup. They saw, oh, Dignitas struggled here a little bit. Maybe we can, take further what worked for the other side. But really wasn't their best map to be on. But yoki, if they can pull themselves together and find, the rhythm here to take down Dignitas on Railway, I think this is a map they could do it on. It's certainly not a sit down, lock it down, game over, kind of map. I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's your kind of Dawn Breakers or something like that when you have the AB hold. Luckily for them, they have a great track record, as I was saying before. I mean, they're 2 for 2 on it. Only played 2 times, won both times. They beat against Althora in this map. That's impressive. Well, I think it makes it even more impressive, and what makes it so weird that Dignitas chose this map is Dignitas are 1 for 2, and they've lost against Althora in this map. So you would think with that information that yoki are going to be the stronger team on it. But one thing I do love, and I really want to point out, actually, we're going straight into game here, and I believe it's not live yet, but just to kind of show you what makes me really like this map and what strategy I really like to see is, like you're saying before, you picked up the engineer class, you shoot down some of these buildings, but you stick a man here or here inside the buildings. Yep. And when you do that, if the buildings are knocked down, or at least, the walls are taken away, you can spot so many people from that. And when you do that, you get such an advantage, because that one man that won't be there to really help you shoot too much, it gives the advantage enough, the vision advantage, to really take that 4-man squad and really hold it down. We saw UMAV running with something very similar to that, so I'll be interested to see if someone picks that up again. It was a really interesting strat actually coming out from UMAV. They're the ones that I feel really benefited from that sort of style, playing quite far back but getting aggressive towards B, constantly holding it, leaving just the team to maybe one flag there. So they would be constantly holding the BC flag setup. So I'm interested to see how this one pans out. I believe yoki will be starting on the Chinese side, which is more to the
west side, and on the east it'll be Dignitas kind of towards the back of C. And I don't know, I think this one's very much up in the air. I think Dignitas, I'm curious to see how they start. Do they go for the initial exchange, just go challenging out in the buildings, go face to face with yoki, or do they go, okay, let's leave one man C, split all across to B? I'm interested to see how they go about this one.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of teams overall on this east side of the map. They just rush straight through to B. They send like one man to C. They go for that 2-cap very early on. And on the other side for yoki, they're actually sending Frantic off by himself. I actually want to pay attention to him here, see how he really works this one out. It looks like he's trying to catch any crosses around the map. Sorry, actually he's spotting down Jaquili right there. Not going to get the kill onto him, but Wilder jumps straight into the window and actually takes him down. So that little bit of a position that he was in kind of gets thwarted out. But you're seeing Dignitas, they're going for control of these buildings. They're trying to lock them down right away. You see a lot of the walls already knocked down across the map, and we're seeing that 2-cap come in for yoki here in just a second.
Yeah, yoki played brilliantly on B then, really made it work for themselves. They had like a 3-man stack over towards it, finding to the players, and now they've got a really good hold. If the likes of Benny and Co can get the players on the cross, or anyone can watch that cross, they're being quite passive now. They have the AB hold, though, that could be really a downfall for them here, as, in theory, they should be challenging a little bit on the cross, but they've allowed players to break through, and they could be losing out on A right now, as we do see at least one member of Dignitas splitting off towards it is Jadeski, which is going to at least draw the attention away from B for the yoki side. So that could make it vulnerable, and this is where Dignitas can get back into it.
And this is one thing that yoki's doing that I don't really see much teams do is, when we see them start to get back up like that, usually the team just kind of pushes into the next flag and takes that one. Like, all right, we'll leave that flag alone. You're going to take that one, but we're going to take you from behind. And they're actually going back and fighting for it. And because of that, because of Dignitas' aim being so spot on throughout the first map on Parasol Storm, they've been just pretty much able to outgun them for the most part, as Jurek was still alive right there, as Judetsi finally did get taken down too. But they've been able to maintain control of A. They've been able to maintain control of B here. And Dignitas, they're almost on a full respawn. WoW is only really one alive currently.
Yeah, but they've drawn the attention there, and that exchange was absolutely vital. In the end, it will be yoki walking away with the advantage, holding on to Ace. This 2-to-1 hold doing really well. Masu has broken through on the main road, however, and they did overly kind of estimate the presence they needed on A, but still, at this present moment, Dignitas have a chance to get that school building in hand and start working towards that B site. We are seeing players now jumping in, already set up his Zella, though, picking up the kill there, exactly what he needed. But still, 2-to-1 hold, yoki doing perfectly at the moment.
And this is what's so damn weird to me, is that this is a map that Dignitas chose, and they're being 2-cap currently. They aren't doing too great. They only have 12 kills to the 20 that yoki's been able to pick up. Maybe yoki woke up, or maybe this is a map that they're just damn good on. And it just seems to be a really interesting position.
Yeah, but finally Dignitas have broken through, picking up the 3 kills from that back house, has given them, or at least gifted them, B. But now I want to see exactly what yoki get up to. Do they go back to B? Do they go for the flat-out challenge down that A road? Or do they go sweeping around the back of C? And I think we're seeing them go around the back of C here. 3 players been split off. I think we saw Zella being taken down, but there's a good couple of members still alive. Benny, Zella, and Co now pushing towards the C side. Wow. They are making their way through. Hadrian does, however, go down, and Masu holding onto this one, pretty much soloing it. But they can now split the attention back to A and hopefully draw Dignitas away from both of these sites.
And that was a big double kill that we saw coming from Dignitas. I believe it was Masu was the man to do it. He was able to hold on to C pretty much by himself. He's actually picked up another one here. He's surviving for quite a while, and he's been able to maintain this hold on C for such a long time. That's been able to give them advantage. And look at him. He's on a killing spree right now. He's picking up kills left and right, currently 5 and 3. He's still maintaining control of C right now, and he single-handedly thwarted the attack right there. But as you can see on this minimap, there's still 2 men there to stop this. And can he hold on to it? Can he pick up the extra kills? He does get another one, but finally does drop to Benny in the backside. I believe that was about 4 or 5 kills coming in for Masu.
Yeah, the worrying factor here is, though, even though he managed to pick up those kills, Dignitas didn't bother to try and hit back A. They saw how many players are being committed towards C, and they should have gone, okay, and there may be 1 or 2 players present on A, if not less. And now they're doing it. Now they're finally getting over towards it to get that AB hold, and just leaving yoki towards C. The tickets are getting a little bit close now. Interesting play from Masu, though, going all the way around the back towards C into the position we said about earlier that can get you some brilliant spots and even better kills. Hadrian gets found there. So now we are seeing the likes of Dignitas finding their feet, holding the streak, but we are seeing a counter spawn coming in for yoki round the back of B.
Let's see if they can hold on to it. As you can see right now, Dignitas don't really know it's there just yet. We do see Jerk. He's going to be the man to really call this one out, as he does get the spot. Does pick up 1 kill, but he's getting swarmed in from all directions. But let's Dignitas know that, guys, B's being taken. We should make a move on somewhere else, as he picks up another brilliant kill on a Frantic right there. That it might have opened up a complete wipe, because you can see only 2 men, Benny and Zelly, the last one standing, and they haven't been able to cap over B, as it finally does go over to them. But Dignitas responding quickly, able to maintain control of A, able to take control of C, and Masu still being such a dick, I'm going to say, on the backside of C, because he's just picking up so many different kills. He's been roaming around, and he's been just this nuisance, this thorn in the backside of yoki.
Yeah, and I've got to say it though, yoki look very one-dimensional right now. They've kind of depended on spawns rather than reading their opponents. So Dignitas, as soon as they saw, okay, they are around the back of B, they've got that spawn, hit up that C site, straight away got there. Judeski and I believe it's Jaquili got there straight away. Let's see if they can do that again. They have a 2-to-1 hold, but this time the spawns are very strongly in favor to yoki. They've got 2 members present toward the A site, 3 towards C, and they're looking to fight this one out. Zella needs to come in and get this kill on towards Jerk, otherwise he's going to hold it down. There's the exchange, but not the pickup. A is still up for grabs.
I do see Masu trying to cap one over for himself, able to pick up a couple of kills, and that is a wipe actually coming for yoki. There's one man there, Hadrian, who's actually getting respawns on top of him. He's looking for a couple of kills here as he pushes out, gets taken down though. And you see Zelle and Bite Me are the only 2 up now, Benny respawning. It seems like yoki are just not going for a hit as 5. They kind of just keep getting taken down one by one, and they keep respawning and trying to push in. They keep dying, and this tri-cap is just taking away any tickets that yoki has left.
Yeah, they're kind of looking at the silver lining here, finally working out we need to start eliminating some of the cover that Dignitas have been holding in the school building and towards A. B should go their way, at least for now, towards yoki. But I'll be very surprised if they're able to split towards that A site or C from this. But we are seeing the exchanges going down. Masu trying to pick up the kills here and there, roaming around, eliminating the players from the buildings, which is the key factor in this one. And still, B has not been fully converted. And straight away, Wahlberg is in there. And this could be another triple cap coming through. And now we got to see yoki think outside of the box here, because going for that B hole, going for what they know best, is not working at all. Finally, they're breaking through, but it's immediately avenged. Triple cap is starting to hurt. 20 tickets pretty much remaining.
And they got the respawn on probably the worst spot on the map over towards the C side. They've been able to finally start to cap it over here, but Jaquili's on a 1v2 situation. I won't be surprised if he can pull this one off, at least stall him for a little bit here. He's able to actually get taken down by Hadrian, so they do get 1 flag back for themselves, but still 96-17. Right now, Dignitas are looking at a larger advantage than they had on Paracel Storm, currently on Goma and Railwood right now, and everyone is performing so damn well on Dignitas' side. Look at the kills that we have for them. Jerk 10-9, 8-5 for Jaquili, 15-7 for Judetsky. Masu's been such an annoyance, 14-6. They are just out shooting yoki, and right now they're down to about 10 tickets remaining. They're able to hold on to A, able to hold on to B right now, and yoki, they're just trying to respawn, trying to take anything they possibly can, but they're not even pick up the kills they need. 62-40 currently.
Yeah, and players like Jaquili just really being a pest and really holding them where they are, leaving them just down to C, and the tickets have become the biggest factor. 94 in favor to Dignitas pretty much, and now if yoki drop below that, they are pretty much out of this one.
That is tough.
You know, as much as I'd say, okay, lower bracket time, think about that. If this is their choice of map and they're already getting this sort of deficit against them, it's not looking good. Frantic down at 3-12. They weren't even picking up the kills individually. They looked completely dumbfounded by Dignitas then. They just did not have an answer.
And the thing is, let's assume they do lose out on this one and Dignitas do advance. They'll be playing against either Hashtag or playing against Fnatic. Assume they win that match, depending on who it's against. They'll be playing against Dignitas or Hashtag or Fnatic as well again. Like, it's most likely to be Fnatic advancing through to that one. And if you can't beat Dignitas, you can't really hope to beat Fnatic at least, because yoki, I mean, I don't want to talk too bad about them, but they didn't look at all there. I mean, they didn't show any signs of doing well. I mean, they got a double cap a couple of times, but then they couldn't hold it. They got taken down right away, and there was no signs of life in the team, and that really worries me.
At the start, they had their ideal setup. I think it was the AB hole, their players in the building, and they left C kind of out and for whoever to pick up. And then as soon as Dignitas broke through their B hole, they took down those 3 players who were sitting within the building at the bottom of B there. There was just no answer. As soon as their game plan was, you know, kind of found out, it was like, oh, what do we do now? Okay, let's just run in and hope to get their attention, maybe get the kills on the site. But Dignitas already had the backup plan ready. They knew, okay, their comfort zone, okay, it's the B site. They'll probably try and convert towards A. Let's put players on the school roof. Let's put them down A road and then just lock them into this, because the worst thing that can happen, they get the back B spawn. And we can still kill them then.
I wonder if this is a result of just Kawa not being on the team anymore.
Maybe. It could be, you know, lack of communication, something breaking down like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think we can take anything away from Dignitas. They're playing very well. They're playing solid. And I think we are just about ready to get into game. So hopefully we can drop in there and see what's going down. So on to the Chinese side is Dignitas in the red on the right side of the screen, and blue will be the Russian side of yoki. And let's bear in mind, if the Russian side drop below 94 tickets, they're dropping down to the loser bracket. And this is an interesting start from yoki, going flat out across the road, going for the immediate challenge from Zella, but Interesting play. BC hold off the bat, but can they hold it down?
They didn't even cap it over. They just pretty much sent 4 men towards B. Zella's been the man to hold on to this push coming out of yoki onto that side, and he's finally going back to finally cap it over, but not before picking up 2 kills. Actually, 3 kills. I'm mistaken right there.
Yeah, and Frantic tried to come back across to support because I think Dignitas slowly went, okay, guys, what the hell just happened then? Why aren't we on C? Because there's only 1 man here. And then he got caught on the cross. So already yoki in a little bit of communication breakdown maybe there. Jaquili and Masu looking hungry for that C site. They're holding on to A for now, but a split down A road has allowed yoki to get themselves in towards the A site and start the counter cap going on. This could be a trip cap coming out for yoki, and that would be the ideal start here. But already A being held on to by Jadeski and Wahlberg, and now they're looking like they want to break into B.
Yeah, I mean, yoki, they kind of won the initial exchange right there, taking the lead for themselves. And remember, if they drop the 94 tickets, they will be out and drop down to the lower half of the bracket. But this is where we didn't see yoki really kind of show themselves. They were able to get a little bit of advantage, but then they lost it right away, and they just couldn't get it back throughout the entirety of that first half. And right now, it seems to be almost the same case as they're actually losing on a B right now. They do have a couple of men defending on a C, but we're right into that same thing where they die one by one, and they don't wait for like a full respawn to finally go for a hit onto a site. They just keep going in by themselves, being that 1-man army, and it's not working out for them.
Yeah, but we are finally seeing maybe the start of something here. They are picking up the A site. They've got 4 players present. They might random in the final, but we'll see if what they go for now. They want the convert on towards B. They're splitting 3 or 4 members there, leaving 1 to hold the cross on the road. Frantic needs to go big here, but he's already kind of being challenged out. We are seeing the players being picked up on the cross. A road is not working. Frantic's gone down. B is looking like a hard task, and they're falling by the wayside. Dignitas holding strong to the 2-1 advantage they currently have.
And this is just getting really hard to watch. I mean, if you're a yoki fan, they just can't get the kills. I mean, it's 10 to 15. Yeah, it's not that big of a difference, but it's only getting a wider gap for Dignitas. Everyone seems to be really stepping up here, and it looks just almost too easy currently. And yoki, they're trying to make a play happen. Like, you can tell they're not giving up just yet, but it seems like the calls and the teamwork just really isn't behind it because they just can't group up. I mean, if I look on the alpha side for them, there's always 2 or 3 people dead. They're never all up at the same time.
Yeah, dribs and drabs really can cost you. And let's bear in mind, 94 tickets is not far away now. 112 is what's left with them. They have 1 side in hand. They are swarming the B side, looking for a way. And Jerk's been picked up. But the street spawn coming in for Dignitas off the back of Masu, who's now trying to break his way forward. Split round the back. Look to challenge maybe over the rock. Here we go. He's going to hop up and over and probably get the spots down. Try and find these members. He knows where they like to play. Picking up 1. Looking for Benny. Not going to find him. But look at that immediately. The control of the ruse coming in for Dignitas. Making sure they're holding on, or at least challenging the A side as well. There's always a silver lining for these guys, and 94 tickets is getting very worrying now for yoki.
And yoki does luckily have 1 man there, Benny, over towards that B side, but will they be able to lock down A? We do have Walu and Judetsky there to defend against it. We do see a nice kill come in for Jude. He's looking for another one here to lock down this control on A. He does get taken down, though, but he does have Walu coming in from the side. They will be able to gain control of A here, and at the same time gain control of C, and there's only 1 man, Benny, still alive over towards B right now. He's looking for some teammates, but look at the spawn that they're currently getting.
Yeah, it's not great, but it could help them pick up the A side, but already the tickets are getting so damn low. This is their last and final chance, pretty much. They have to do something here. They have to make it count. They're being picked up. They're being dropped down, and Dignitas are just working them out 1 by 1. There is so little hope at the moment. The tickets are in 94. 1 more ticket, 1 more death, and it is game over for yoki. They are in serious trouble going forward in this one.
It is. It's just really unfortunate for them. If we look at that game, I don't even know where they went wrong. It was just wrong everywhere.
Look at the start.
Nothing
Let's
looked
look at the start, for example. They had a great start. For example, in my eyes, they went, okay, let's invest into B. Let's try and get that BC hold, maybe convert it over eventually to the A-B hold, which is probably more ideal, I'd say, if you get the rooftop kind of positioning. They left 1 man at C to immediately challenge out Dignitas, but no one capped C.
Yeah.
So they went straight for B. They kind of rested on their laurels, and it didn't work out for them. And at the end, Dignitas, they got the comfortable hold. They looked strong. They always had a player just pestering, constantly picking up the spawns, watching the cross, and it's not good to see for these guys. So Masu went 10-1 then as well. So
not a bad score.
Clearly playing quite well, and I can imagine the likes of Fnatic or Hashtag will be taking notice of how that game just went, because yoki got pretty much smashed. And let's bear in mind, Dignitas were in 5th from the rankings, and yoki 11th. It's not a huge gap. It really isn't. That's not some massive, 1st to 15th or 16th. It's fairly, close. But the difference already breaking out in the top teams is huge.
Yeah, I just really wonder what happened within Yoki's camp. I really wish we could talk to him about that because it just. I don't know if it was maybe a motivation problem or something like that because, yeah, they were able to gain control. Like, we're not saying they haven't been able to. They were finally able to get a 2-cap and really able to, start to get some tickets going. But they couldn't hold it. And then they just seemed to drop one by one. They couldn't really get in there. They couldn't stay alive, and they couldn't group up mid-battle, that kind of thing. Like, they didn't have that one man, the team, staying calm, saying, guys, all right, we need to adapt. We need to pull something else out. They just seem to keep hitting the same areas over and over, and it just kept not working out every time.
Well, I think we've just found out Fnatic did win 2-0, so clear-cut games to start with, but we'll be clearly following on from that, so it will be Dignitas up against Fnatic, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which is a brilliant head-to-head. These two teams battling out for some time. If you look back to DreamHack or any number of the cups, certainly some interesting results between them, generally won over by Fnatic, but if there's any time to turn it around, it will be now.
Yes.
So I can imagine we're going to go to a very quick break, and when we're back, we'll be following up with the next game, which will be Dignitas against Fnatic. So guys, back in a sec.